So good morning to all of you, and thank you for joining our webinar today. As Bart was explaining, we will be doing a demo on Sage 300 Gulf Utilities for Payroll, which is an add-on module. Sage 300 Gulf Payroll solution is a fully integrated payroll processing system which complies with the basic HR or human resource management requirements for a small and medium-sized business in this region. The application consists of several modules that helps you to process payroll accounting and to manage your basic HR, what you call requirements. So this includes payroll module, the leave management module, the gratuity calculator or the gratuity module, the WPS, or we call it as the wages protection system. You can manage your document, employee documents, which we call it the document management module, the loan management, as well as the end of service. Now, in my next slide, I'll be just giving you a brief introduction on each of these modules, keeping in mind that they seamlessly integrate with the core Sage 300 financial system, which is basically like the general ledger module. The payroll module allows you to define employee master data, as well as various earnings and deductions for preparing your monthly periodic payroll register. So this is the key module, the payroll module. Next, we have the leave management module. This submodule tracks various types of leaves, such as paid, unpaid, annual, short, medical, and others. Next, we have the gratuity calculator module, which is a submodule which is designed specifically to accrue gratuity benefits on a timely and accurate manner. So you can use this, a module to calculate the gratuity, verify, the calculated gratuity before posting to a GL. You can print the report, make sure that everything is clear and concise, and then basically you can post the gratuity and provision in the GL. Next, we have the loan management module, which allows you to track loans given to employees. This could be internal or external, and loans should be approved, and posted to the payroll. And loans are loans are repaid according to the repayment schedule. So we can schedule it and deduct the amounts from the employee salary when we process the monthly payroll. Then we have the document management module. This module uses you can capture actually and manage information on employees related documents such as passports, what do you call, any other documents, and store electronically these images, and then you can access these documents by authorized staff at a later stage. Next is actually the WPS, or we call it as the wages protection system. This is a submenu that fully automates and generates the salary information file, or we call it as a SIF file, based on your monthly values. When you process the salary for monthly, using that in values, it will generate this SIF file, which I'll show it to you during the course of my demo. And finally, we have the end of service module, which calculates and prints the full and the final settlement when the employee is leaving the company. So these are the main modules. So what we will do now is, let's switch to the application, and I'll demonstrate to you and complete payroll cycle. So allow me a minute. So let me open up Sage. I hope everyone can see my screen. In case if you have any difficulty, please let us know. So I'll start with the payroll submodule. So as you can see here, you have the payroll module and the Gulf for utilities for payroll. So let me start with the payroll. In the payroll submodule, let me open up what you call the employee master data. Here you will be entering the related information like the frequency, the payments, earnings, the deductions, which is applicable to the individual employee. So let me select one employee here, Adam Jones. Now in the general tab, as you can see, we can populate all the necessary personal details of the employees here. And then in the pay tab, we define the frequency of the pay. In this case, it's monthly. And of course, we can all define all the earnings and what you call benefits, deductions that are applicable to this employee, as you can see here, such as basic salary, car allowance, housing allowance, sick leave, and others. Now let's do one thing. Let's take a scenario, and then I will demonstrate. I'll take a demo employee Adam Jones, and I'll go through what you call a payroll cycle. So to do that, let's take an example. This Adam Jones has taken some days off, for the month for which we are going to prepare, the salary or the payroll process. So before processing, the payroll, let's see how we can account for those leaves. He has taken sick leave for the month of March. So let's see how we can actually review it. So let's go back, to the leave management module. Select the leave entry. So that I have already entered, the leave. So let me just, recall this entry. Let's quickly review, the leave entry details. So as you can see, I have entered, descriptive, information here about the leave. Then I have selected, the category as leave, sick leave. You can have annual leave. You can define it, as per your requirement. And selected the employee code, which is, Adam Jones. And then, of course, I have included what you call the date, that he has gone on leave. So which is on the 14th and 15th of, March, which is 2 days. And finally, the earnings, code applicable for the sick leave. So these are the two codes, which I have included, the housing and the salary. Of course, if you have any other one you call allowances, can be deducted. But in this example, I have taken these two. Now, as I told, this is not yet posted. So in case if you need to, do any changes or percentage or in terms of amount, so you can do it according to your company policy. You just have to edit this. But in this example, I'm going to leave it as it is. And I'm going to post, this, transaction to update, the leave that Adam Jones has taken. So let's go ahead and post it, save it, and then I'll post this, entry. Now, further, before I process, what you call the payroll, let me also quickly go and check, whether this employee has taken any loans. Since we have a loan module, let's see if there's any loan which is given to Adam and how the deduction will be processed during the payroll. So for that, again, I'll go to the payroll module and go to the loan management module. Here I have a report which is called the employee loans report. So let's take a look at this report. Select the employee code. Let me print, as you can see here, Adam Jones has taken some loan, from the company. You can see, the loan amount, the loan he has taken on the January 15th, 2011. The total amount of the loan is 12,000. Which he has been already repaid once. So, and then the remaining amount as of March or as of February is actually 11,000. You can see in the schedule here for the month of February salary, it has got deducted, for this pay period. So now we have to process, for the month of March. So quickly what we'll do is, I'll close this and I will run what you call the create payments, to deduct, the loans, which can be done for individual employees or individual employee or for a range of employees. So in this case, let me select, and I'll process, so it will create actually a time card entry for us to do the deduction. Now we are ready to calculate the payroll for the month of March, for Adam. As I told, we will process only for this employee. So let's go back, to the payroll module and go to the payroll transaction and use the calculate payroll to process. So let's enter the appropriate dates for the payroll run date. So let's take it as 31st March. So I'm leaving it as it is, the pay end date period also, and the check date is also for the same period. We can select the frequency. Since I told you like in the masters we have said this is a monthly frequency, so I'll select the monthly frequency. Now we can, as I told, we can calculate for all the employees in one go, or we can actually do it for an individual employee. So I'm going to select go to the selection tab and select the employee Adam. I'm going to process only for Adam. So once this sorry, just give me a minute. Sorry, my power is not working. Yeah, sorry about it. So basically, as I told, we'll be processing for one single employee. So let me click, the process button. Now the system will allow you to print, a pre-check register. This is a report which we can, print it after calculating what you call the payroll. So I'm going to go ahead and print, the paycheck, pre-paycheck payroll register. Now this report, as you can see, it will show, the details of, the salary that was calculated, for the month of, March for Adam. As you can see, the information is populated here, including what you call the total salary, which you can see it, on the top right corner. I think it is 10,100. So the deductions are here. The individual what you call details are being actually captured. Now you can use this particular report, to obtain, the management approval. So you can send it through what you call your payroll team and get it confirmed before you actually once you approve it, then you can proceed and and post what you call the salaries. So this document can be used, or this report can be utilized. So let me close this. Now, those who are actually in the UAE, that that to be compliant with the UAE labor law, every company must pay salaries through the WPS, or the wages protection system, which is basically an electronic payment system operated by what you call the UAE Central Bank, and then it is validated by the UAE Ministry of Labor. So the WPS module will actually automate and generate what you call this required zip file. So to do that, what I'll do is let me go back to the payroll and go to the WPS module, and let's generate the zip file. To do that, so just basically click on the generate WPS file. Select your routing bank code. Then we need to select the pay period range, so which is actually from March 1st to 31st of March, and I'll click this arrow key, which basically will bring the information to the screen. Now since as you know we did only a payroll process for one particular employee, which is Adam, we can only see one line, but of course if we do for multiple employees, which will be listed here. Now next what we can do is we can generate what you call the zip file. To do that, let me click on the generate button, and then I will save this zip file, which is actually a in Notepad. So let me just put it somewhere here. Okay, this file, this particular folder, click OK, and which will generate the file. Now At this point, we can optionally review the content of the zip file. So to do that, let me just go back to my desktop. I hope you can see my desktop, and let me go back to that file and open this file here. As you can see, this is a zip file which contains the relevant information of that employee, including the routing codes, the bank details, bank code, routing code, the company, etc., and also the values based on what you call the requirement of that zip file, the formats. That file can be shared with your bank, and they can actually upload it and through the through the application. So basically that's basically it does. Now after completing what you call the WPS, so let me just go back again. We, as the next thing, what we can do is we need to post the payroll transaction. Now to do that, let's close this, go back to the payroll module, go to payroll transactions, and then I'll go to the paycheck. Here I will select the pay period, end period, which was actually 31st of March, and then let me just tab it, and then we can select the bank, and then I'll click the print post what you call button. This will open up what you call to print the check or the transaction as it's the payment. So let me just click the print. As this we were doing only for one employee, so you'll see a check which is produced for Adam Jones. But of course, we can, as I told, we can actually have multiple payment processing for all the employees. So basically, once you close this, it will pop up a message asking you whether it was successfully printed. So once you give yes, this process will end your payroll and create your transaction in the GL. So let me just close this and then just switch back to the GL module, the general ledger module. This will create a journal entry, as you can see here. Open up here, you will see that values that it was actually processed. So I can see we had paid through the bank 10,100. Now with this step, we have completed the payroll processing cycle. Now let's look at some of the other routine functions in Gulf payroll application. To do that, let me go back to the payroll module, and I'll open up what you call the gratuity calculator. Now this is another submodule that helps us to complying with the authorities in calculating what you call the gratuity. Before we can calculate gratuity, we need to configure this module according to your labor regulation requirements. Now to do that, so let me just go back and go to the setup. We need to define what you call the gratuity settings. So we have defined here the contract types. It could be limited, unlimited, and then we need to classify the basis of gratuity calculation. Whether if it is terminated or the employee is resigning, and if that's the case, what is the percentage? Different percentage can be assigned according to your labor law requirements. The same will go with the limited contracts as well. Once you define the gratuity settings and assign it to the individual employee, you basically can do on a monthly basis on your gratuity calculation. To do that, we need to go to the gratuity calculator screen and process. Now I'm going to process for the month of March for Adam Jones. So as you can see, my last gratuity was for the February month. So I'm going to calculate for the month of March. So let me select the employee code here from 2, and then I'll click this run. Basically this will initialize and get all the required calculations to the screen. You can verify this, and now either you can verify it from the screen, or what you can do is let me minimize it and then I can print, a report called gratuity report, calculated gratuity report, once for you to verify the data. So you can verify the individual calculated values. Once you are okay, basically you can come back to the same screen and then click the post button. Now by clicking the post button, this will update what you call your payroll and create the required general ledger transaction in the GL module. Let me also print the gratuity history report for this specific employee. As you can see, this employee has joined in 2010 February, and we have calculated for almost 1 year his gratuity. All right, so next I would like to go through what you call the document management module. Now, as an employee, Adam Jones may have personal documents which must be stored and updated and managed. Now, to do this, to perform what you call these functionalities, you can use what you call the document management module. This module basically keeps record of maybe it's unlimited what you call documents, we can call it. You can scan it and what you call attach it to the application for all your employees. In addition to attaching documents, you can also manage and store data fields corresponding to the what you call your personal documents. For example, the expiry date on your passports or work permit, visa, etc. This can be used, and you can produce a report to notify your renewals, which I will show you how to do that. So let's go back to the employee document module and select my employee Adam Jones. As you can see here in your in this pane, you can see we have attached maintaining multiple documents, including the driving license, medical card, passport, and work permit. You have the expiry date. This is what I was referring to earlier about maintaining what you call fields. You can make it mandatory, and also you can have more information. Now in this case, for the passport, you need to maintain the ID, maybe the issuance date, passport issuance date, the issuance location, and the exact name that is printed in the passport. So all this information can be stored and retrieved later. Also, you can attach, alternatively, you can attach as well, the document. So let me just, open what you call one of the attached documents. Okay, this is, my driving license, and probably I can also just open up my passport. Yeah. Yeah, so basically you can have this information. As I told before I complete what you call this document management module, let me also show you the document expiry report, which could be very useful in maintaining and in getting all this required information. So let me go to this document expiry report. In this case, I'll print for all the employees, so we'll have more information. So I'm going to leave the expiry date, the cutoff date as it is today, as of this date. I'm leaving the age period also as it is, and I'm going to print for all the employees. So let's see how this report looks like. So as you can see, this report produces the aging of the personal documents based on the expiry date. So here you can see these documents for this employees are already expired. For example, Adam Jones, his driving license is expired, his medical card is expired, his work permit is already expired. As you can see, it is on the expiry category. So these are the dates. So my aging was actually 31st of March. As of 31st of March, it's already expired. and this goes on for the other employees as well. As you can see, like, for Adam Jones, his passport is going to expire soon in a sense, like, it's going to be within this time frame. So you can take immediate actions related to this, documents. Now, lastly, what I'll do is, I will run through what you call the last module, the end of service benefit. Basically, which helps you to calculate and print, the full and the final settlement when the employee is going to leave the company. So assuming, like, Adam Jones is leaving, so let's do one thing. So let's process, the leave end of service for the month of, April 15th, he's leaving. So let's go to the end of service, application. Select the end of service. I will select the employee code. And then let me select, on March 15th. So remember that we have completed, March, payroll. So if I need, I can just, double check that, from an activity screen. So let me go to the activity screen, select the employee. He's still active, the employee. Let me go to the checks. Yes, it is already like processed up to, let's just put a late range. Yeah, so it is up to like March. We have processed it. So let's assume that he's leaving on the 14th or 15th of any date, like say on the 20th he's leaving, and the check date is also on the 20th of April. So let's assume he's terminated as an example, and then I'll click the go. So the system will calculate all the information related to this employee, whatever like unaccounted, what you call payments, unapplied salaries, gratuity, etc. will be taken into consideration, including what you call any loans. As you can see, he has taken a loan. So basically, that has to be settled. So basically, this gives a warning message, and it will list, all the required what you call parameters here, and what are the amounts. As you can see, like, his cash benefits are there for that 20 days. His salary is actually 10,000 per month, but it is calculating based on the 20-day period, and rest as well. This importantly, like, his gratuity as well, and also his loans. Now you have an option to like amend this or like modify it according to your discretion, HR discretion. But let's assume we'll leave it as it is for this demo, and I will save this, and I will post this transaction as the final settlement. So this will create what you call a transaction in payroll, and then if you create what you call, you can create your manual check and individually like disperse it to that specific employee. Alternatively, you can also print from the just wanted to show one thing, the end of service, the final settlement statement as well. It's an Excel file. Let's paste this, print for the specific employee. As you can see, like it will basically give all the information, including all the deductions and earnings, and this was his final amount that it has to be settled. So the loan also has deducted. So once this is like approved, you can go ahead and post that end of service transaction and issue what you call a check manually. All right, so with that, I have completed our review of the what you call the Gulf payroll solution.